You can hear me clicky-clacking on the keyboard, then that is a bonus. You're in the internet! You are. Good job. What a thing to fight over. First without pants, untrue. I cannot confirm or deny whether I'm in an object container. Oh, I was reading an email from my accountant. Let me close this. That's beautiful Pedro Camacho's music. But at the moment, you can only see... does this work? Is that right? Have I brought up the right screen? Yeah, I have. Hello. How's it going? How's everyone doing today? You good? You bad? You indifferent? Today, I wanted to talk about... Well, I mean, answering questions and just chatting is probably the main thing. But we can talk about CitizenCon, we can talk about 3.3, 3.3.5, and pretty much anything else that's newsworthy. We can go over a quick recap of the news. that sort of stuff as well. I've now trained myself, unfortunately, to talk like that. I've realised I talk really weirdly. I'll talk about this, and then we're going to do that, and oh dear, that's YouTube videos for you. That's I've trained to talk in a unique way, which would be very, very annoying unless you're used to the way I talk, and probably is annoying even if you are used to the way I talk. So, apologies. But I don't talk about like this when I'm playing games with my mates. Well, I do, but maybe I've got less of a point to make, so I ramble more like I am now. Right, what we got? Anything interesting in the chat? Is the game finished yet? No. Boom. Next question. Can you put a mustache on and pretend not to be BoredGamer and give us some insight into 3.3 Evo? I can give you some insight into 3.3 Evo, just can't talk about specifics of a patch. I can talk about Evocati in general, and stuff that's public knowledge. Like, we know that 3.3 is out with the Evocati at the moment. It's currently being tested by them. There's supposed to be 2 builds running simultaneously, one with object container streaming and one without object container streaming. We won't know the extent of those patches until a first wave PTU. So Evocati are NDA'd. Any leaks that you might see are likely to take them with a pinch of salt because they might not be accurate. Thank you very much. Oh my god, wait, Xerxes. Is it? That was easy. That was easy to read. It looked confusing because there was 2 Z's in it. Xerxes. That's what I was going to read it as originally. But thank you very much. I appreciate the sub with Twitch Prime. Mwah. Probably it's a special little kiss from me to you. I don't know why. Yeah. So the 3.3 patch did get split off into 3.3 and 3.3.5. But it looks like the Evocati will be testing object container streaming before the 3.3.5 patch, or we'll have a build with the 3.3.5 stuff at the same time as 3.3, and we're not sure if they're going to get them both at the same time. That's what they've said, but they might get them one after another. They might get focus testing. That might continue over to the first wave PTU. We'll have to wait and see. But if people want to ask Evocati questions, that's fine. Can't talk about the specifics of a patch or bugs or anything that is pertaining to, oh, how is the Evocati patch going, sort of things, or, oh, is the performance better, things like that. Although, stuff that was talked about by devs, they had significant improvements when it came to performance. They've said that when it came to object container streaming, but they don't want to overhype people just in case we won't know until it goes to a live build exactly what performance you get, is the idea, because with any performance gain they get, they want to put more stuff in the game. They want to have higher detail, they want to have more players, they want to have more NPCs moving about, more ships, high detail, better stuff. Do you see what I mean? So it's a bit of a balancing act at the moment, and then eventually the game will be optimized to a good level anyway. But object container streaming that comes with 3.3.5, that should give us some reasonable gains, as well as making RAM usage a lot lower. I've got I don't know why I did that. I think my monitor's 27-inch, but I've got 3 monitors. I need to get some more set up above me, which I might actually do after this stream. That is a good use of some investment-y monies. Investing in a little bit of a better setup for editing, because I keep on I spend most of my day reading and watching YouTube videos now. But what I want to do, and we're probably going to start this next week, although we are going to be in, maybe we should start it after CitizenCon. We'll try and start it next week. I want to be streaming at least twice a week with Star Citizen stuff, and then get more used to streaming in general. Not just Star Citizen, but lots of Star Citizen. So I want to do Artifact and Fallout 76 and Anthem and some other games as well. I realised that streaming is actually quite a big moneymaker, and because of my YouTube sort of like base, I can promote those streams pretty well, and I've got a bit of community with the Discord and stuff. Also, with that in mind, actually, I'm going to be giving away ships more often, even unrelated games, I suppose, because I want to do it as a community thing for people that are in my Discord and people that are on stream. So probably start doing that next week. I've got I got a few Saber Ravens. So that's the sort of I want to give away ships. I don't want to give away super expensive ships. Rather have more smaller prizes typically. Yeah. What have we got? But why are people not wearing pants? And do you mean panties or trousers? Did anyone notice that t-shirts available at CitizenCon are $30, but the t-shirts showed to people who brought the goodies pack are $20? Oh, I did not know that, G. Truman. I am going to be buying one of these t-shirts. Let's actually bring that up on screen. Bam. Aha. So, people that bought the digital goodies pack can buy these t-shirts. Now, people have said that it would be great to get just this will be unredacted at some point, but getting this just made up as it is with the blur would be fucking amazing. So whatever this is the sort of like CitizenCon special t-shirt they're producing, and it says there's a little bit of a blurb which points potentially towards some hints at what might be happening at CitizenCon. A storm's gathering, distant flashes of lightning and ominous thunderheads serve as grim portents of a reckoning on the horizon. In this gripping graphic tee, you'll be prepared with an intense battle-ready design. You'll stand as a beacon of freedom and an enemy of oppression across the universe, and look damn good while you're doing it. We're going to go over some of the thoughts for CitizenCon in a minute, and we'll go through the schedule again, and we'll have a bit of a chat about that. But it's cool. I mean, could be like a squiddy krakeny thing. Could be the lightning and flying around killing Vandal. We don't really know. It's all wiggly. It's red and white. So, I mean, the Vandal are typically red, but it could be anything, couldn't it? I mean, the CitizenCon sort of like color scheme this year is red and white. So, yeah. I'll next time I do the intro music, I'll make sure the Pedro's intro music is a lot lower, like half the volume. I have an accountant, yes. I'm super paranoid about everything I do in my life. So doing everything as correctly as possible is useful. And I don't want to handle my accounts, so I pay for an accountant. So in the UK, you can do your accounts yourself, but I would not recommend it, especially when you don't know what you're doing. Understanding your accounts is a bit different than doing them yourself. So you want to understand the numbers and figures, but you want to make sure they get okayed by a professional. Why does that planet look like your head? Because they scanned me into the game, but they didn't scan me in for an NPC. They scanned me in for planetary tech. You see the really small asteroids? That's my dick. In real life, I have no accent. That's true. Yeah, just neutral BBC English. I'm deciding about a fight at under $100. Should I get a Gladius? So, potentially, you could get a Gladius. My two suggestions at the moment, however, are the Avenger Titan, which I really rate, and potentially one of the 300 series. Like the 300i, after its rework, potentially could have some great stuff you could do with it. Gladius is great as well. So those are the sort of three you want to be looking at. You're gonna want to fly all of them to see which one you like the most, though. Girthy, beautiful name. Can or will you bug CIG for a time when they plan to start work on the Redeemer? So both the Redeemer and the Carrack, Disco Lando, Jared will actively tell people about as soon as he can. As soon as they start working on it, as soon as they've got more information on it, we will get told. However, I will poke CIG about the Redeemer and a couple of other ships, about what are their plans for them, and if there is like a priorities list, with 10 being the highest priority and 1 being literally burnt on the back burner and destroyed, burnt, annihilated, boomed, got rid of. I know, not canned. I suppose is 1 on there. That's beyond on the backlog. Where is the Redeemer, sort of stuff. We can ask questions like that. But I suspect the Redeemer's low priority now because the Hoplite seems to have taken its position in Squadron 42. And for drop shippiness, we've got the Hercules as well now. I'm not wearing underwear, but I am wearing pajamas. It is one of the joys of being a YouTuber such as I am. You can just go commando. With respect to Evocati, are the avocados actually good for you, like with a good fat, or are they just as bad for you as other fatty foods? And does 3.3.5 actually crash every 30 seconds? I cannot talk about specifics of the patch. Unfortunately. I mean, I can... I can't really see anything, unfortunately. Real life avocados are good for you, aren't they? But yeah, the Evocati patch is an Evocati patch. As soon as they become like semi-stable and they get all the features in, because typically what you'll get is an Evocati patch with just some of the features, like a load of ships might be disabled, a load of features might be disabled, and they slowly trickle them in, getting you to test each section of gameplay as they add more and more and more, and see if anything causes problems. They like drip feed you, you get like 2 builds in a day, sort of thing, and they just keep on updating it. Bam, 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 bam. That's the sound of Evocati patches coming out. So as soon as that becomes relatively stable, then that goes to the wider PTU and has all the features tested, sort of. I was surprised that they broke off 3.3.5 into its own build. To be honest, I was almost certain they were going to get object container streaming in, and it's probably almost ready. I think it's actually CitizenCon, which will probably cause that split. And what I mean by that is that something or some stuff they're showing at CitizenCon requires stable build or whatever, like that branch to be like, yeah, okay, boom, we have to get this done, and then we'll move on to this. So so the Mustang has been reworked, and is in 3.3. It's not in 3.3.5. It's in 3.3. When is the 300i coming out? Is the 300i 3.4? Yeah. So the Mustang and the 300 series, both this year reworks. So that's pretty cool. So all of the sort of entry level ships are now pretty knocked, pretty locked in. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better, thanks. I'm now paranoid. So, had a kidney infection, had lots of pains around my body as well. Probably was just literally a bad back. After that kidney infection cleared out, got a new chair. Seems to have cleared most of that up. I've got a fatty liver, so I need to lose weight, and I've been dieting like a fucking champion and doing loads of exercise a day, a mixture of strength training and cardio for like at least an hour a day. So I've probably lost quite a bit of weight already. I'm eating under 800 calories a day, but I'm doing that relatively healthily. And that's the low amount of calories, but I'm getting all the vitamins I need and everything. It's relatively sustainable. I'm not feeling dizzy or anything. I'm drinking loads of water. I'm doing it in a balanced way. Probably quite a big drop in calories. And some people might be like, that's bad for you. Well, I've read about it. I did talk to my doctor about it. And she was like, as long as you're getting everything you need, that's fine. And if you do feel dizzy or ill or fatigued or whatever, then make sure you're sensible with it. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. And it seems to be working relatively well for me. I wouldn't recommend anyone else do it potentially, but I needed to lose weight and I was big. So I'm doing some life changes. But I feel a lot better. At the moment, I'm paranoid that all of the moles on my body are cancerous. So I live with anxiety and depression and OCD, and sort of like they're all bundled together. Where my anxiety is entirely OCD based, so I rapidly iterate on things in my brain, and I potentially overthink everything. But I look at something and I think of all the iterations of how I could react, what that could mean, how that could mean it, and then that goes through my head until it stops, and that can be minutes, that could be days, that could be weeks. So at the moment, it's well, actually, I'm getting blood tests for my liver at the moment because I had a fatty liver. They're making sure my liver functions fine. Should be fine. It probably will be sorted within a month, and then I just need to eat healthily, and balance my diet up, and then just exercise regularly. They're testing my liver function with some blood tests. And at the same time, I'm going to ask, I've got 2 moles on my chest, which are irregular, and I'm very fair-skinned, so I'm going to ask to make sure that my doctor doesn't think they're cancerous. I mean, Zen and a couple of other my mates, we talk, and we suffer from similar things, and like we worry about stupid shit constantly. And even though it's very unlikely or whatever, do worry about it. No matter how stupid it is, still worry about it. So, you want an update? That's the update to my brain. That betrays me. The game is pay to win right now, right? How has the community reacted to that? Well, I mean, there needs to be a game that's got lots of reasons to play and stuff for it to be pay to win. At the moment, it's an alpha of a game. There's no real pay to win. You're not winning anything. The game's not made yet. Don't know if it's going to be pay to win until it's made. However, it definitely has pay to win elements because, you know, you can buy spaceships. Now, that's going to give you an advantage. Can a pay to win game can a pay to win game still be good? Yes, definitely. Is it going to be traditional horrible pay to win where it's sort of like gone too far? Hopefully not. Basically, the devs have said that that's not what they want. Pretty much all devs say that though. See what I mean? But the community wouldn't allow it to be brutally pay to win, on broken pay to win or whatever. Inequality's fine at start. The way that Eve handles it up until relatively recently has been pretty solid with sort of like Plex and stuff. So as long as the game's fun, as long as pay to win isn't out of control, that's fine with me. And it's not like true pay to win. It's just got pay to win elements. But people could argue it forever in lots of different definitions, so don't want to do that. But the community for pretty much everything is pretty astute and critical of anything the CIG does. So anytime there's anything that looks pay to win, people talk about it, and that's what you kind of want to do. The game is not anywhere near done, not anywhere near balanced, and it's not in a state where you can say, well, the only way you can win is to get the ship. Well, it's really not. Like, there's not the gameplay mechanics there yet. It's all testing. Some of the testing is gated, I suppose you could say, though, because like you need a prospector to do the mining. Well, that's not entirely true, because you could steal someone else's, borrow someone else's. And we should have rentable ships in 3.5 in the persistent universe, and in Arena Commander, where it would be more pay to win, you can actually play the game, get wreck, and then rent any ship you want anyway. So that they are actually obtainable in game now. BoredGamer, what are your thoughts on RTX and Star Citizen? So ray tracing, I think ray tracing might be good in the future. If it's sensible for Star Citizen, they will absorb it and subsume it. If not, then they won't. At the moment, ray tracing appears just to be a bit of a, you know, bad marketing thing, because it's not really adopted yet properly. and even if it is, it might not be that great. We'll have to wait and see. I just got a 6K gaming rig, but Star Citizen is laggy. Should I have gone for the 9K PC? Yes. Let's spend more on your computer. That'll make it better. You need object container streaming. You need the game to be more optimized. Hopefully with 3.3.5, that should be... well, actually, hopefully with 3.3, it should be a bit better. But it's nothing to do with the PC. Well, it's a bit to do with the PC. If you have a fuck ton of RAM, it's going to be pretty good. If there would be a game out there that would offer some kind of VoIP tech, would it satisfy you right now? And would you actually, your actual camera be good enough? And what camera are you using? So I have some Logitech C920s and a C922, which I will both be doing a video on as soon as I'm able to with VoIP. And then obviously the Faceware camera, whenever it's available, I'll also test it against that. So yeah, you can get a pretty cheap webcam to give you a pretty good experience is the idea. You won't need anything super expensive, although for the best possible results, you'll want a Faceware one. We don't know how much that's going to be.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
2 + 2 < 3.
Zockley, boom, nailed your fucking name. Bam! Bam, bam, bam! Not Cyclo, Zockley. Bam, 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 bam. I can't believe you've subbed to me for 22 months. What a swizz, mate. What a swizz. Love you, mate. Duh. That works on 2 + 2 < 3 works on so many levels. It works on so many levels. Why would I buy a t-shirt that is still in polishing? Good. That's a good question. Mate, I buy spaceships that don't exist all the time. How's life been? You haven't been going through any depression or anything? Hope you haven't been going through any depression. I just got out of a huge one. It's erratic for me. Like I'm always pretty blessed, I suppose. It's genuinely what it is. That I know I'm going to be okay. Anytime I'm depressed, anytime I'm super anxious, I know eventually I will be okay. At the moment, I'm super anxious, other than thinking everything about me is cancer. About going away to... I've got private LAN party during CitizenCon at very poorly timed by me at Centre Parks, and I'm worried about my coverage during CitizenCon. Like if the internet breaks down there while I'm trying to do stuff, that's good. That's a but in the future, I'll make sure that I'm in the best possible location to cover events. You would have guessed hemorrhoids. Nice. Thanks. I see you're a doctor. What else we got here? Will this team achieve the ambition Star Citizen aspires to accomplish? Probably. I mean, well, on some gameplay loop scenarios, yeah. And others, it will require balancing and changing. And on others, probably not. I mean, everyone has a different idea about what they want for different gameplay in Star Citizen, and no one exactly agrees exactly what that is. Everyone has an entirely different idea, especially with some of the mechanics that they've very, very lightly gone into. I mean, some of the stuff that they don't know exactly how it's gonna be, and even with the first implementations of those mechanics, they evolved them from there. So there's a lot going on with Star Citizen. I genuinely think it's going to be a great game, like one of the great games, like Half-Life 2, World of Warcraft, almost great. That's what you want. You want something that is like people compare it to World of Warcraft one day, in a good way, or Eve or whatever. But it's going to be Star Citizen can be so much more mainstream than Eve now. So you have to wait and see though. For me, it's beautiful. I love the project. I know that some of the gameplay loops are going to be perfect for what I want, and others probably not so much. But I won't do those gameplay loops so much. Yo, Bored, is there any way or place to store your mine stuff in your ship? At the moment, it's just in your ship, and you sell it from the kiosks that are next to the commodity kiosks. Feeling love for the Reliant yet? Surely the Sen is a good variant. No, fuck the Reliant. Not a fan. In your opinion, do you think that 3.3 will go live at CitizenCon? And with that, do you think we'll get to test 3.3 on the PTU soon? Sorry, I'm sure you've answered this. No, it's okay. Sexy's no problem. Yeah, 3.3 almost certainly will go live at CitizenCon, and I suspect that we'll have a 3.3 first wave PTU as early as the end of next week. Be my expectation. Will you be able to race against NPCs in scramble races? Oh! Probably not for the first iteration, but eventually, probably. I believe that will be the intention. Good point. But probably, almost certainly not for the first iteration. Because they haven't talked about NPCs for it. So, FOIP looks damn good. Glad to see the performance looks better on the OCS build, even with all the CDTs. Crashed the desktop. I can't comment on that because that may be part of a leak or something, but I can neither confirm nor deny. When patch 3.3? 3.4 plus, let's be real. So my recommendation is for people that are looking to get back into Star Citizen but don't know when to do it, probably 3.4. I'll probably be doing a video talking about that at some point soon. It'll be like more of a theory crafty one, I reckon. But 3.4 should have dialed in object container streaming. Hopefully we'll have server-side object container streaming, and should have like purchasable ships, or at least rentable ships, and all of the missions like dialed in a lot better. Problems with AI sorted out. I'm hoping that means that we'll get a solid amount of progression when we play, and there's reasons to play because you can buy ships and more developed systems like that. And the flight model, the new flight model should be nailed down for 3.4 and added. So it's a reason to learn to play and to get good at the game then. Once they've got the nailed down flight model, you go, well, when I'm learning to fly now, those skills are transferable, is the way I see it. So, any news on Squadron 42? Very, very little news on Squadron 42, which leads me to believe they've probably got something to show us at CitizenCon. They've like gone even stummer. Can you put mission boxes in the Mustang in 3.3? That is what I believe you are able to do. The new Mustang should allow you to put boxes in, but don't know.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
Big Airsoft, thank you very much. Appreciate the sub. Went to the gym for the first time in a while. I only burned off 130 calories. Every little helps though. Like, so for me, I would never go to a gym. I've set up a home gym, literally behind me. Oh, you can see how devastating my room is. So I've got a treadmill. I've also got dumbbells. I will be putting weights on here for deadlifting. Also bought rubber plants and aloe vera plants and things. Don't know why I'm doing that. But yeah, So yeah, eating 800 calories. So that's what I'm on. I'm eating around 800 calories a day. And I'm drinking water, green tea. I am allowed tiny amount of sugar in caffeine-based drinks. So I have black tea as well with a little bit of sugar in. No wonder I'm tired. No, actually, I feel better since I've done that. I was tubby and my diet was bad. Yeah. The first day, I ate very little and just drank loads of water. And I think that helped shrink my stomach. Lots and lots and lots of water. Okay, now there's lots of there's probably better ways to do it than I'm doing it, but what I'm doing works for me. When I get light hunger pangs, I drink water or do some exercise. I eat at very specific times now. For like breakfast, I'll have an egg on toast. That's done. And then for lunch, I'll have like salmon with some almonds. And then dinner, I'll typically have a bowl of cereal now, or something like a pepper and like a red pepper or whatever, yellow pepper, with like another bit of salmon or something like that. Pretty simple stuff. Oh, I appreciate all the love. There won't be. Okay, I'm 99.9% sure there won't be loot boxes for Star Citizen. If there are any form of loot boxes, that would be for like Star Marine, and that would be purchasable almost certainly with in-game rec, whatever. It wouldn't be a cash purchase. It would be to take the piss or for whatever gameplay reasons, but it wouldn't be a loot box like we traditionally see, and that's very unlikely in itself anyway. Just because, even though I think it would be funny and actually a good idea, I think that people would go absolutely crazy on the media. Oh, Star Citizen's got loot boxes. That'll just be the headline everywhere. Even though those loot boxes weren't anything to do with real money. Do you see what I mean? Even if they look really tangentially related. Yeah, so although there's no win in Star Citizen, there's still like, progressions, the idea of beating other people. So it's win conditions are set by people. And when people talk about pay to win, it's any advantage. That's what the pay to win talk is about. Do I have an advantage over that person because I put money in? That's the lightest definition. Will you be making tutorial style content? Yes. For example, how to best upgrade your ship and equip it in game with patches of weapons and shields and such. Yeah, so I'll be doing basic tutorials, I'll be doing gameplay loop tutorials, and I'll be doing meta tutorials eventually once it becomes relevant. I mean, at the moment you can go, this is the best build, but not much more than that. And Noobify does a great job of that anyway, so. Oh my god. From ATV yesterday, Chris mentioned that Evocati was getting ready to test 3.3.5 OCS, etc. Well, he said they were getting ready to test object container streaming. Do you think that 3.3.5 might be closer than we think? Potentially. I think that the roadmap that says mid-quarter 4 might be... I don't really know. It depends on how many bugs there are, doesn't it, really? Thanks for doing this. Big fan of the game. Look forward to the info you can give out. Question mark. Yeah. So when it comes to Evocati stuff, it's annoying because I can't even record an Evocati. I have to wait until the first wave PTU. But is there any substance in the rumor that you're still wearing the Japanese schoolgirl uniform from the waist down? That is a lie. I showed on my trap. Don't know if you can see my sexy pajama legs. I'm not going to CitizenCon now this year. I'm going to Centre Parks in Nottingham instead. But it was in America anyway, and it's difficult for me to get to America and super expensive. I probably do need the Reliant Mako news van, but hopefully there'll be other ways of getting news and that sort of gameplay content that's not through the news van. Star Citizen's currently semi-pay to win, and I'm okay with that, as long as it gets developed. I'm okay with inequality. It's when pay to win goes too far. Star Citizen wouldn't have been funded at all if it wasn't for the way they're doing it. And it's fine that the Eve sort of way is fine. It does need to be watched and viewed, and we don't want the stuff to go out of control with stuff they sell. Like land claims, they were a stupid idea to sell. How much longer do the devs anticipate to be in alpha? Don't know. I'm expecting a beta, sort of like a beta state that we could sort of people would agree that would be beta-esque in a couple of years. So end of 2020 sort of thing. And by beta state, what I mean is a few systems, actual gameplay area systems, and then most, if not all, of the mechanics in there in some form of iteration. Yeah, if you want to back the game, basically you need to go, do I want to be part of the project as it is in the current state, which is you would get alpha builds, you test the mechanics and mess around and see if you like stuff, give feedback on that, and you regularly get that sort of content. But it's not a sit down and play game. It's not hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours progressing because it doesn't have that stuff in yet. It's got very limited gameplay loops. You can have a huge amount of fun if you're in the right organisation or group of people that want to play it regularly. Yeah, 100%. But for a sit down and play standard, like fleshed out game, it's not there. So if you want to be part of the helping the development of the game, great project to back now. If not, then wait. Immersion is broken. Fortunately, because I was seeing my doctor so regularly, I was talking to my doctor about this while I was doing it, with the low calorie intake. I went down to 1,200 a day and 400 of daily exercise. I went down to 20 kilograms. 4 stone. Stone? I'd be very light. You went down 20 kilograms in 5 months. When I tried to go under 1,000, my hair started to fall. Well, it started to fall out. Well, I don't have that problem. Diet is key. Exercise without the diet doesn't work. I cycled 30 minutes on a trainer and lost nothing. Okay. You envy me. But I think you should retract that statement, Smash Max. Oh my god, loot boxes for javelins. No, my god, can you imagine loot boxes for ships? Fuck me. Oh! Buy 50 and get 1 free loot box. This shit company already fixed the network issues and we play above 15 FPS? Question mark. What? It's, I mean, 3.3 should help. And 3.3.5 should help a lot. I wish I could talk more about the Evocati builds. But if any real advantage also requires a lot of friends to make use of it, is it really winning? As I said, pay to win is sort of like looked at as you have any form of advantage at all. And if you get an advantage for paying, that's pay to win. That's how people will see it. So, definitely has pay to win elements. You can't argue with that definition that it has pay to win elements. But you can then say, well, will the game be terrible because of that? Well, you don't know. But it shouldn't be. I'm loving the way Star Citizen is planned and on paper and all that sort of stuff. And I love the way it's evolving. Yeah, massive delays. But it's allowed me to sort of like learn my craft and get involved with the community to an extent. So me personally, I love the project. But Star Citizen will always be supporting those that donate over those that don't. It's why people donate. I just hope everything is ultimately available in game. And Eagle, it should be. They've said everything will be obtainable in game. I'm sorry that the delay is so long with chat. I do apologise. Do you think CitizenCon is coming to the UK next? Yes, I do. But I don't know. But I expect so. I do not swim, unfortunately. Well, I used to be really good at swimming, but since I gained weight, I don't I've got body dysmorphia. Look at myself and just go, "You're a fat bastard." I suppose it's not body dysmorphia when it's actually true. What? If that's the correct term, £600 for a ship, not in game, is way pay to win already. It's not pay to win if it's not in game. Is it? Just because something is purchasable doesn't make it pay to win. But it's sort of, if it gives you any form of advantage, you could argue that it's pay to win, definitely. But as I said, doesn't necessarily make it a bad game at all. Me buying a Javelin without people to crew it is not pay to win. It's pay to be a big freaking target for others. Yeah, it's pay to give it to a pirate. I told people about stage 9 yet. Why do I remember stage 9? That's a spaceshipy game. Oh. I've seen some stuff about stage 9. I'll look at it later after the stream. Is there any feature in the game that you're most excited about, and what would that be? I mean, it's buying ships in game, FPS AI, boarding ships, all of the economy features. That includes like proper industry features, base building. There's so much. There's so much. It's all of the game coming together that I'm most excited about. Get yourself a cheap hook and a bag of sand, mate. That will cheer you up. Okay. Thanks. Appreciate it. Love your channel, dude. I never miss a vid. I'm sorry for your loss. Hoverman, if you want to put a link about stage 9 in, please do, and I'll
Tricksy little
I'll look at it in a minute.
hobbitses.
Oh, thank you very much. This much appreciated. Yeah, the first javelins in the persistent universe will be loot balloons, unless they're like protected by an orc straight away, and even then that might be a bit confusing. Getting to play the game without crashing is going to be my favourite. I don't suffer from many crashes and starters, and certainly not at the moment. Previously, I've had a few. Like there's been builds that are super crashy, but recently, for the last like 6 months, pretty solid. There's probably been a build or two that's been buggy while I was playing it. But... Send a hug out to the Brazilian Star Citizen community, please. Hugs. I can't wait to get more than 30 FPS in the PU. Oh, if only I could talk more about the Evocati build. Oh man, oh well. Right, so was there anything interesting I wanted to talk about? What do they say in Calling All Devs recently? They want to do mining on foot, so that might be mining bits of super rare materials out by hand, getting out EVAing out of our ships to grab some bits or to help smash a rock up quicker, reduce the resistance of a rock or something, and then go back in your prospector and mine it out, or literally mining it out by hand, things like that. So there are going to be first-person mining components. Hacking data will give us tangible information, like we might be able to suck out people's map data, things like that. Databases of stored items, and like maybe they've got base locations there, maybe they've got asteroid locations, things like that. The 350R should still be the fastest racer, even though it's not a dedicated racer. Well, it sort of is, but it is a variant. Anything else? What was the Calling All Devs? There wasn't very much in Calling All Devs. Last week's Calling All Devs, they talked more about the planetary orbits, so planetary orbits will still be a thing. There'll be planets orbiting stars, and then there's going to be space stations everywhere. And then using Lagrange points to set all that up. We will be able to rent out habs in the future. We knew that anyway, but we have to customize them, that sort of stuff as well. Gamepads are getting some better support. Last week's around the verse. Was there anything interesting in? Not really. Got route planning and stuff that was probably going to be in 3.3 for sending multiple quantum travel waypoints. Last week's Reverse the Verse had more on the Hammerhead. Hammerhead's looking cool. It's got 8 escape pods. It's got a new sort of like a little bit of an extension with a kitchen, like on its own little deck, in some space that wasn't used before. Hasn't really increased any in size, but that's looking pretty cool. There was the Con 42 dev panel. They talked about beam weapons there. Beam weapons are going to be a thing, just like normal weapons, but you know, that's the sound of a beam. I'm not sure if they're going to be, well, I suppose we have beam technology in the game already with the mining lasers. I was going to say, are they going to be like phasers, or are they going to be like a constant beam? But they could probably be both types, couldn't there? Be a phaser, which is just a and there could also be a and there could be even like electrical telemetry things, I suppose, like arc across. I mean, arc weapons would be pretty cool, wouldn't they? Yeah, I like the idea of arc weapons. Maybe trying to add too much, but you know, crossbow will be added into the game at some point. There will be caves, there will be rivers. They have to put them in by hand at the moment because it's not part of the procedural tech. Potentially, we'll be able to build stuff in caves. Potentially, they're looking at building things in space as well. So, building space stations, which is cool. It's something I actually want. I don't really want many more features for Star Citizen. Don't really want any more features for Star Citizen. But supporting modules and sort of like expanding on some of the gameplay, that's fine. As long as it's not like... And now we're also going to have... You can go into another dimension, and there's whole gameplay into this another dimension, or things like that. I don't want any like super massive other gameplay things that they haven't already discussed. But like having salvage vehicles on the ground would be fine. Having repair vehicles on the ground would be fine. Having that sort of stuff. Building outposts, but in space, little space stations would be cool. They're prototyping water at the moment. Eventually, we'll have to swim. There will be underwater exploration, they said on that dev panel as well, which is cool. Was there anything else that was major there? Vending machines will be functional at some point, is the plan. They'd adopt ray tracing if it was sensible in the future. They'll look at technologies and see if they actually give real gains, and if it's something they want to adopt. At the moment, ray tracing isn't something they want to adopt. There's a big weaponry factor. That was the Con 42 panel, which was actually really useful. I'll link that there. That's my website. Daily Star Citizen content, articles. Also, there is links to my SoundCloud, which I put all my videos there in a small format for people that want to listen to stuff. The latest around the verse. Was there anything interesting in there? Fine-tuning scramble races. It looks like scramble races that are in space have to be around the asteroid arenas, which are around yellow, I think. So they've put like low-level lighting all around that area, so that you can sort of see even when there's no light, no other light. So you don't ram into asteroids so much, things like that. But I think on the ground that the scramble races will sort of like just procedure generate. Maybe you need to go to like a hub to do them. We're not 100% sure. I thought they were entirely procedure generated, those scramble races, but I'll have to wait and see again. Should be in 3.3. What else we got? What else we got? Oh, the rest stops, they've evolved them somewhat, so the space stations that they currently have that are going to be filling out 3.3 and beyond, they're big enough to have a Starfarer literally dock inside with an enclosed hangar. There's pads outside in some of them, there's hangars inside some of them. and they can procedure generate the externals and internals, all that stuff now. And they're looking cool. They're working on ship onboard power stuff, so that you have as much micromanagement of your systems as you want, but you can also set like default priorities of where power goes, stuff like that. So you can go, if I have 50% or less power, turn off these systems, or turn these off in order if I've got catastrophic power failure, stuff like that. They did a mocap shoot recently, for some pickup stuff for 3.3 and 3.3.5, and potentially some stuff for CitizenCon. Yeah. That's basically it for a little recap. So let me bring this up. Bam. So I'll look through the questions in a second, and then we'll go through a little bit of CitizenCon stuff. Just what you can sort of expect for CitizenCon, what I'm expecting for CitizenCon very briefly. We'll talk a little bit about that. We have much in the way of... Let me bring the chat up again so I can answer these questions. You love my face, appreciate it. Do you expect prices to be raised on ships by the next anniversary sale? For some ships, yeah. Not for all ships. As far as you know, the docking collars on some ships, what will be their purpose? At the moment, AVAing out of airlocks, loading bays are very easy. So they want to have ship-to-ship docking, they want to have ship-in-ship docking, and some, it looks like they still want to do docking collars for certain things. But I don't know exactly how that's gonna turn out. There's lots of them saying, yeah, we want to do this, and yeah, we want to do that. So we'll have to wait and see. I think they need for docking collars and for parasite docking, which is like the way the P-52 is docked inside the Constellation. They need the multi-grid physics tech to be finished, which isn't done yet. I do expect, I've read that. The mining skill is increased by 1. Oh my god, I'm so glad there's not skill-based. I'm so glad it's not experience-based. Can you say if there's any orbital quantum changes in 3.3? No, I can't. What we've seen in around the verse and some other stuff recently is that they wanted to have course plotting in 3.3, and they want to reposition certain bits, and they'll edit bits from where they are and things for 3.3 and 3.3.5. The universe is expanding with object container streaming, so take that as you want. Viewing races on luxury ships, viewing party, and betting on that game of skill. I'm not sure if they have betting in game, because lots of countries are really against betting, even in game, for in-game currencies. But I love the idea of luxury viewing parties on luxury ships and things. I think that's one of the things that luxury ships would be good for. Did I say anything about page file? Talking to someone else, aren't you? Smash Max, you need to put Star Citizen on an SSD, and you need to have at least 16 gigs of RAM really at the moment. Object container streaming coming in, that should be significantly better. But where in the verse would be the best place to put schools? I'm guessing at Lagrange Hill points. So, for people that don't know, Grange Hill is a old British sort of like school of drama, but on at the time for when kids get home from school. So it's very, very sort of like low effort. And it's part of my childhood. But I don't know if anyone outside of the UK will know what the fuck that is. 3.3 is out to Evocati testers and should be available to PTU for the 10th of October. Emphasis on the should. I think it's they're planning to have the live build for the 10th. That's what they want for 3.3. I suppose it could be PTU for all if it's not ready. For gamer rules, bam! Get a t-shirt with that on it. Swords would be good. Yeah, I think they'd be melee weapons. I mean, they want advocacy tools, which one of them is a stun battle knee thing. We've seen knives. We know that the Vandal use like stabby staffs. Yeah, there's gonna be melee. Gonna be melee weapons. When are we going to be able to use our extra starter packages for crew? We don't know if that's still 100% a thing. We don't know when the extra starter packages will be available for whatever they give us, or multiple hangars or whatever. We need NPCs first that can act as crew, and then the ability to rent and hire them. That's a while away. You want a Rancor monster pit in your house? I mean, yeah, why not? What do you think they'll show Squadron 42 for the holidays? What do you think they'll show of Squadron 42 for the holidays? So holiday live stream towards the end of the year, different from CitizenCon. So we got the Squadron 42 vertical slice last year. So we don't know if it's going to be that sort of thing. We don't know if they're going to be showing Squadron 42 or Star Citizen stuff or both at CitizenCon, and we don't know what they're going to do for a holiday live stream. We can look through the CitizenCon stuff, and then after that, once we've seen CitizenCon, we can probably make a more educated guess for what they show on the holiday live stream. But we don't know yet. Do you think I need to upgrade anything in my PC rig for Star Citizen? Ryzen 5, 2600, 16 gigs of RAM, M2, 960 Evo, 1080 Ti. Nope, you're sorted. You're sorted. You just need Star Citizen to catch up. Hopefully 3.3.5 should give you a big improvement. Also, I don't recommend anyone buy the 2080s or 2080 Ti's at this moment. They don't give massively good results. 1070, great graphics card. It's beautiful. You can get them secondhand really fucking cheap at the moment. And yeah, that's my recommendation for a graphics card. Probably for the next 2 years. That will keep you going. We know if Hurston Moons will be in 3.3. Nope, they will be in 3.3.5. So Hurston, its Moons, and Lawville, all for 3.3.5. Hey man, you think you'll pick up the Kraken if it appears? Yes, as long as it's not stupidly expensive. Like, I'm okay with reasonably expensive. I want a civilian carrier. I like the idea of a big carrier ship. It's going to be great for gameplay. I do have a Javelin. So, getting into the realms of unable to crew my own fleet, even with an organization, at some point. But I want these ships for content early on. So, well, I'm happy to support Star Citizen a reasonable amount. Is the patch coming today? Don't know what you mean by that, Commander Rurius. What do you mean, like first wave PTU? Evocati have 3.3. Evocati will probably get a patch today. Will they cap anniversary sales insurance at 5 years or increase it to 6 years? Good point. Because it's from like 3 years onwards, it was getting ridiculous, wasn't it? I don't know. I mean, I'd like them for the anniversary sale. I'd like them to do one last lifetime insurance for everything, and then just go no more lifetime insurance. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't thought that through enough. That might be a really bad idea. So, has there been any mention of eventually implementing different vision modes? Yes, they've talked about that. They want to have different vision modes like thermal, and other ways of detecting things. Like you'd have to put a sight on a gun that would give you thermal vision, or you'd have a helmet that would give you it, stuff like that. Yeah, so object container streaming should give you big improvements in the persistent universe. It should significantly reduce the amount of RAM that you need, and VRAM. Graphics card RAM and system RAM. Reduce both. And and it should give you lots of other benefits other places as well, because they're making everything thread safe for it as well, making everything multi-threaded. It will scale up to your cores on your system, things like that. So in the persistent universe, that should give significant improvements frame rate wise. A true question, I guess, is how well does Star Citizen run on AMD CPUs versus Intel? At the moment, significantly better on Intel CPUs. However, once they're using the multi-threaded stuff a lot better and it scales properly, AMD should be comparable. We'll have to wait and see. It might be a billion times better, but you should get a lot more performance out of AMD stuff compared to what you do at the moment. But it's not super terrible or anything. Typically, you're bottlenecking with the unoptimization of the game rather than anything CPU based. And normally it's GPU bottlenecking in Star Citizen at the moment. I think it is. I was. Do you have any idea when incomplete ship features? I don't think I was bottlenecking at all with anything. It's just the unoptimized game in general. Do you have any idea when incomplete ship features will see development roadmap visibility? For example, CAT modules, so the Caterpillar modules, and Cutlass tractor beams. So tractor beams in general, they're on the back burner at the moment. Well, not on the back burner, a backlog. They will be doing them at some point. They want tractor beams. The beam technology they're using for the Prospector actually helps with that apparently, because they were testing tractor using some of the sucky suck beam extraction beam as a tractor beam. So I suspect next year we'll start to see modularity for ships done in earnest. So we'll start to see, like, it'll be the year of modules, is my expectation. With the roadmap visibility stuff, there is in CitizenCon road to release at the end of road to release. I'm hoping that gives us sort of like major milestones they've still got to complete. I mean, if they give us a little thing of these are all the gameplay mechanics we've got planned, this is when we see them really roughly, and then we're going for a beta in a couple of years, whatever. That's the sort of shit I want to see. Planning to have a release in 3 years, 4 years, whatever. If they give us some major milestone goals, boom, that would make me happy. And that's all that needs to be. It doesn't need to be these are accurate dates that we're going to comply to. These are the current thinkings behind when we actually think we'll probably be going to beta, to live, to Squadron 42. They add Squadron 42 to that roadmap. Oh. See you later, Smash. Take care, mate. How big of an SSD for Star Citizen? So at the moment it's around 35 to 38 gigs. The actual Star Citizen build. So yeah, I'd grab a 128 if you're super scraping the barrel. But try and get a 250 gig one because they're so cheap now, SSDs. CitizenCon is on the 10th of October. Oh, my voice broke. October? And let me link the schedule for people that want it. Bam. In my org, I want a fight club. You think Malay would allow boxing, MMA fights? I think... I don't know what extent of hand-to-hand combat we're going to have. You're probably better to punch stuff, though. Han Solo. I'm a well-handed gamer, hence gamer tab. Han Solo is a great name. Would love to see disabled characters. Games don't really cover disabilities very well. My brother, who I'm the carer for, he's hemiplegic, so he can't use his left hand. So I hear you. So do you, out of curiosity, Han Solo, do you use a gamepad, or do you use a joystick, or do you use just a mouse and with lots of buttons? I'm curious, how do you interact typically with a game? Fucking hell. I'm not reading that out. Oh my god. Robert Johnston, love your face. The rest of you can... Oh, but you're paying to tell other people to fuck off on my channel now. Thank you very much, Robert. That's very much appreciated. Always a highlight of my stream when you drop massive amounts of money. It's not needed, but thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Like, thank you for the money. You're a star. Thank you. I never know how to react with that sort of stuff. One of the reasons I want to employ Zin is that it means I'll be streaming significantly more regularly because I have a lot more time, and we can be streaming together, which means a lot less pressure when I'm playing games to be as entertaining. You can just react with each other and bounce off each other and talk. And because how do I word this? Having a girl on the channel that I consider as a true gamer and fun to play with and I really like is an awesome boon as well. But I want to be streaming regularly and I want to be doing some gameplay. And I do think streaming is going to be big for... I don't want to just do YouTube. I want to do a lot of YouTube, don't get me wrong, but I want to diversify a bit. And I think Zin will probably be more popular than me on stream because she's quite funny and she's quite brutal and she's very good at games. How can I be as handsome as you are? No homo. But unfortunately, you can't be. You've got to overeat. You've got to shave your head. Well, actually, all my hair just falls out naturally. And then you just got to read stances and patch notes all day. Boom. Done. Handsome. I was worried a few months ago. I was like, oh my god, am I an incel? And I realised probably not, because I'm not a cock and I don't want a relationship. So I realised that the other day, like, a lot of my mates are getting married and like getting houses and mortgages and stuff, and I don't envy them for being super grown up. But well, I really like working. Like, if I had a partner, if I actively sought a partner again, she'd have to really, really be super career focused or be able to leave me alone for large periods of time. Because I want to work. I love working. I love my alone time. Hard, isn't it? Like, what CitizenCon panels am I excited about and why? That's a good question. So the opening keynote, let's bring this bad boy up. Bam. The opening keynote, that's going to be the main presentation. That's going to be the sort of stuff that we've seen in previous like CitizenCons with like the Sandworm coming out and nomming stuff up and all that sort of cool procedural city tech, whatever. So we might see some Squadron 42 stuff. So some not too spoilery Squadron 42 content. We might see some new gameplay loops. We might see some aliens. We might see some creatures. We might see some 3.3.5 stuff. Lots and lots of potential stuff. Typically, it's like, wow. Typically, it's wowing stuff. So it might be like object container streaming working really well in a dev branch. Things like that with like big capital ships fighting, whatever. There's lots of cool stuff they could show us. It's likely to be pretty impressive. I'm also expecting to see a concept sale go on, probably for the Kraken or the Titan suits, or both. The ones I'm really excited about are by design by Tony Zorovic, because he'll be talking about a lot of gameplay design stuff. Biome, creating alien ecosystems, which leads me to believe that opening keynote may have some stuff about alien ecosystems, alien cities, stuff like that. The new flight mechanics, so that's coming out with 3.4, or so we believe. So I want to watch that because of that. Principles of flight. Beyond content as well is going to be exciting. So that's exploring the advanced tech behind the game and new game additions. Which new game additions, I'm not sure if that just means that stuff that's in the patches at the moment, or if that means that stuff that they haven't announced before. And if it's stuff they haven't announced before, I hope it is the last of any major additions to the game. Minor additions are fine, and stuff that follows on, like exploration underwater. Yeah, I'm okay with that. That's not like a whole new feature. That makes sense. That's like part of stuff they've already talked about. But if it's like, I don't know, something weird. But those are the ones I'm looking forward to the most. Obviously, road to a release. That could be release dates. That could be major milestones. That could be a lot of stuff. After party, woo! Oh, so there's two orgs I have. There's Nomad Black and there's the BoredGamer one. I will accept everyone into the BoredGamer one, pretty much everyone. I'll just double check to make sure they're not something that's obviously like, nope, I'm good. And that will be a social org. We'll do recording and stuff in game. Probably won't have. We might have some uses in game, but yeah, it'll be. Maybe I'll use it for news eventually as well. But I'll accept everyone to that at some point. I'll look at it later today, Jab. Sorry, when 3.3 comes out, I'll try and be a bit more active and actually organising players together for the games. To play together and to record and things. How many chats am I reading from? 2. Well, technically 1, but it feeds out into from 2. Do you think CIG will make some space stations destructible while not informing players? Give the possibility for very big fleet or org to destroy vandals. So, let me give you an example. Some things to think about. So the probe missions, they're fully destructible. Okay? And they are a object in space which has items. So they're effectively ships that are immobile. And they can have lots of different items and systems on. And they are fully destructible. So yeah, you could have fully destructible small satellites and space stations. The larger the space station, though, the less likely it is to be fully destructible. However, I don't see a reason why they couldn't have fully destructible stations, to be honest. You just treat each part of the station like you would a ship. It'd be interesting. You wouldn't want all stations to be destructible, because otherwise they would all be destroyed at some point. You want potentially player-made ones, or ones in the more PvP or dangerous zones, potentially to be destructible, or the player-built ones be destructible, maybe. So you could. I mean, it's doable. Sorry if it's been asked before. How will expired insurance work on ships that have been bought for real cash, or we lose those ships for good? We don't 100% know, Han Solo. It has been talked about before. There was an answer given of stuff that you've bought on your account will be reobtainable for less credits. So it's like you'd still potentially, even after insurance expired for your whatever ship, your Aurora or whatever, you'd be able to buy it back at a reduced cost in credits. It sounds like with that they might have sort of like a statutory insurance on all ships, but you might have to pay a large percentage of the whole cost to get it back. But try and get insurance for your ships, yeah? We don't 100% know is the other thing. So. Yes, major bottleneck is physics. I only utilise 4 threads at the moment. Evocati is an Evocati patch. Can't really talk about specifics of it, unfortunately. Going well. I can say that. I'm feeling good, thank you. Do I think the quality of ATV/RTV will pick up post CitizenCon? Yes, but not just straight afterwards, soon afterwards. Like maybe a couple of weeks afterwards. Do expect that. They'll start to show more stuff again. And they'll be a lot more lax. At the moment, there's loads of stuff they're getting ready for CitizenCon. They're having to go and get ready and set up things and hold back certain things and show others. But yeah. Will object container streaming be able to take use of lots of RAM? It will reduce the amount of RAM required. I've been losing faith in this game. Bored if this game flops What will you do next with your channel? Or just chug through it and keep making Star Citizen content? I'll probably, whatever happens with Star Citizen, I want to cover the news for it. But I'll also diversify. I want to be streaming other games. I'm going to be looking at Artifact and be looking at multiplayer stuff with Zin. But the core of the channel will be Star Citizen. I might do some other stuff as well. The game would have to flop really hard for me to not be interested anymore. It would have to be like, I'm not enjoying this at all. Like all of it, none of it, sort of thing. You see what I mean? But I think it will be pretty good. At least I think there will be component parts of Star Citizen which I really love and enjoy, and I'll do that gameplay the most. Yeah, I suspect tractor beams are not too far behind. My Discord link is discord.gg/BoredGamer. Feel free to join there. I am going to start to be giving away ships on the Discord and on stream soon. It's like stuff like Saber Ravens and things. I need to think of ways of doing that. Oh, Robbie, I love your face. I saw your donation again. It made me happy. Thank you. How do you think CIG will deal with the uprising mass of unhappy backers? I don't think there's that tightly sources of numbers. I have seen much people leaving the project. So how can we do in your mind to help keep us from going? I mean, it's not your duty to help players from going. CIG need to release bits of the game, and people will get interested in the project and not be interested in the project. I don't think there's that many people leaving or getting refunds. I'm pretty sure there's not. I'm pretty on the pulse with the game. There's people that are unhappy about everything. Like, there's people unhappy about anything I say or do. And there's anything that CIG release or show or don't show, there'll be someone that's angry about it. But I do think it is vocal minority, quite genuinely. And there's no need for anyone to defend the project. It's not your duty to. You don't need to. Just let the game speak for itself. Play it and enjoy it in the way that you want to play and enjoy it. If people ask you questions about it, answer those questions accurately and honestly. You don't have to slant it or be biased about it. Like, oh no, it's good. Honestly, no, it's fine. If they don't like it, they don't like it. Just be like, well, these aspects are good. These aspects are bad. This is what they're trying to do. Bam. But I think that's the best way of doing it. Just be blunt and honest. The more communication that CIG give us, the better. There's nothing we can do as backers to make people not go that wouldn't be disingenuous or shilly. You see what I mean? It's like, let people do what they want to do. And I hope you can make the Redactor stream. I watched all 6 hours last time. It won't be the same without you. Robert, I will try. It literally depends how good my internet is at our chalet, our little bunker. I want 1,000 solar systems. John Walters, wow. I mean, if they do, like... Okay. So, once they've got their core systems in, there's no reason why they couldn't have huge amounts of solar systems. They just wouldn't be as detailed with hero locations. So they could potentially have a huge amount of solar systems later. No, the rest of you, not other people, lol. I'm not sure what that's in reference to. But I assume it's because you love me, whatever it is. Use a HOTAS, but can't use the buttons on throttle. And have reversed them. So a stump. Have a stump, so I can use that on throttle. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at that. Can mash keyboard, so FPS, kinda. Oh, okay. Okay. That's good to know. So you do use the HOTAS. If I see any interesting peripherals, Han Solo, I'll tell you. I always look out for my brother as well. Do you use pedals as well? Why do you think they're having such a hard time with first object container streaming implementation? I don't actually think they're having that hard a time with it. What I do think is that it requires a lot more testing than they expected with the community. So what they needed to do was have the testing start a month earlier. It's the hammering out bugs phase. Object container streaming buggy. Oh yeah, FOIP. We'll definitely see FOIP at CitizenCon. Can I speak Persian? What? I don't have to be in a relationship to bag these shorties, my guy. I don't know what that means. Road to release presentation with Chris Roberts looks fraught with peril. Oh my god, that's a headline. That's a headline that media should run just before CitizenCon, and it is true. Chris may say the wrong thing. Hopefully they've learnt, but them just being open, honest, blunt with data and plans. That's what I want, and update us regularly. Say this is the plan for this. This is also like rough dates for these sort of features. That's our plan. Bam. And let's update us. If you update us with those dates weekly, then we can see them getting pushed back and moving forward, and people aren't going to get really angry. You say, look, this is the internal schedule. It might be vastly wrong, but this is our current thinking. So that's the sort of stuff I want to see with development. I was having an argument with someone on the Discord the other day about they need to be accurate with their scheduling. Otherwise, what's the point? It was like, well, they don't know. That's it. With the scheduling, they try to be accurate. They are a bit overly aggressive with where they position things. But I'd rather that and then them constantly update me than the alternative of giving us nothing or less. Or I prefer them to be perfectly accurate as well, but you know. You won't be able to watch Tony because they ain't recording or airing the second stage now because of complaints. No, I think they're still doing the second stage. Why do you think they still haven't done the next great Starship or the mobile Titan suits yet? I think they're probably going to handle the Titan suits themselves now because we saw some like concepts of that, and I think that they, for some reason, didn't want to do the next great Starship. I'm not sure why. The next great space Star Marine or Space Marine or whatever the fuck it was. But I do think they want to do it again eventually. They'll want to do people building spaceships, people building other assets for the game because it's interesting. What's the point of having CitizenCon and showing us next year roadmap if none so far content has been delivered from last year reveal? Some of it has. Then they've been a lot better this year with actual quarterly releases. I'd still want more data than less. I want to know what their current plans and current thinking is for everything, and that to be updated more regularly. They need to be communicating with us more. Would you see cockpit-based gravity plating in single-seat fingers as a viable means for mitigating the physiological effects of acceleration upon pilots? They've talked about the hit, all the G-force stuff. Like, I don't know what we're going to get when it comes to G-forces. Like, there might be ways of reducing them. There might not be. I don't know. But I suppose in the really, really super fast racers and flyers, yeah, I would like some way of reducing Gs on me. Maybe components on stations could be destructible. I think that's the plan for lots of stations. Like, they want damageable and destroyable items rather than the whole destroyable station. But we'll have to wait and see. They might have changed that entirely now. They might go, yeah, fully destructible stations, fully destructible outposts. But we'll have to wait and see. Again, well, we have to wait for a statement. How much do you think they will sell truck stops for? As they did plan to have space stations purchasable. They plan to have player-operated space stations rather than purchasable. Have to wait and see again. In relations to hired AIs, could you feasibly see that some retires? Maybe. See what you mean? Like, after a while hiring them, they goes down. No, I'm done. I don't want to be hired anymore. Maybe. I don't know how the system's going to work. Just asking that because I've read something about a big event at the end of beta. So the big event at the end of beta you're talking about is Operation Pitchfork, and that's going to be a load of us getting together, hopefully hundreds of thousands of us, but tens of thousands of us at least, to stress test the servers and to attack Vandal and to attempt to have something written in law about a big massacre of either the Vandal or the humans. Do some cool stuff, try and push the Vandal systems back and see what the extent of the game can do is before the game goes live. Oh, do you think like UEE veterans would be hireable if you've completed Squadron 42? Yeah, maybe. Maybe Squadron 42 does give you access to some missions and some NPCs that you potentially wouldn't have access to normally. It is going to give you access, at least easily, to certain ships and gear and weapons and stuff if you complete Squadron 42, or get 2 bits in Squadron 42. Like you'll get access to the F7C, F8C Lightning, or at least they have to rent it or buy it or something by getting to a particular location in Squadron 42. So maybe that extends to more things. How great will performance gains be when object container streaming are in, do you think? I think they're going to be massive. Like, genuinely. Don't want to hype people, but I genuinely think they're going to be massive. I think we'll go from 30 frames to 60 plus for the people that have got good rigs. That's the sort of expectation I have. CIG seem to be a lot more playing that down, but since 60% of 3.3 is being developed during the time that 3.4 should, how much of 3.4 will be pushed back? And is it going to snowball? Shouldn't snowball. They are working on everything simultaneously. Obviously, they do break the branches off to work on them separately as well. So it could have some features might be pushed back slightly further, but it shouldn't snowball. It doesn't make sense to snowball, does it? It'll just be a slightly stepped, slightly delayed. Again, that's nothing new. But hopefully that they'll catch up by 3.4. Will object container streaming be able to preload more of the persistent universe with lots of RAM? No. So object container streaming will utilize less of your RAM and sensibly load in certain amounts of object container streaming, object containers. I don't think that having loads more RAM or a better system will tell object container streaming to load in more areas. See what you mean, though. People that say they're leaving just don't have the patience that the Alpha requires. They'll be back when it's further along and when it launches. Yeah, probably. So, but it's not that the Alpha requires patience, although it does. It's that some people want Star Citizen to be further along now, and some people want it to be more playable than it is. A lot of people don't want to give feedback. They don't want to help in the development of a project. They want to sit down and play games in their spare time. They don't want another job. And it can be seen as that, especially with the Evocati phases and PTU phases and lots of the other bits. Like, it is volunteer QA work. So a lot of people don't want that. And that's fair enough. I love the project. I want that. I want to have more of a say and talk about bits more. So I played Star Control and Star Control 2 a lot when I was younger. I completed Star Control 2 to death. So Star Control Origins does appeal, but there was that lawsuit, and I'm not sure where it actually sits in the universe. It looks very similar, though. But I haven't checked Origins out properly yet. I will at some point. Do you think Operation Pitchfork will be viable? Well, they're going to do it whether it's viable or not, and that's the joy of Operation Pitchfork. It might crash the servers, it might damage stuff, they might get some useful feedback from it, or it might work really well. What's up? Birds and dogs. They're on a hill. Guy? Do you think they'll put the face over IP camera on sale or pre-order at CitizenCon? Yes. Can you tell us a bit about beard grooming? I don't really groom my beard. I'm growing it a little bit out, and then going to style it somewhat. Simply style it. I'm not going to have like a weird moustache or weird facial hair. Reddit is potentially doing some leaks and some testing stuff, but I will not be. I'm NDA'd for the Evocati, so that basically means I'm not allowed to share or talk about specifics of the patch, share screenshots or videos and stuff like that. So I won't. But as it goes to first wave PTU, I will produce as much content as I can. Does the prospect dispel the waste material now can't talk about the specifics of 3.3 or anything, but the plan is for the prospector to expel the waste material, so that you can fill your ship full of more valuable ore. Red Dead Redemption 2 of interest to you? I'm so hyped. Yeah, I mean, it looks cool. Red Dead Redemption was pretty solid. Cyberpunk is probably a single player game I will play on the channel at some point, or stream and stick it on the second channel. Like, Cyberpunk looks cool. It reminds me of original Deus Ex. According to Sandy, I guess the next Great Star Marine has not happened yet. It requires the devs and the art designers, blah, blah, blah. They also need to find a sponsor for it. They don't need some back money for it. That's why it's delayed till unknown. She also said that she wanted Squadron 42 Episode 1 out first, and 3.0 out. Why do you think they chose such a shitty engine to build the game on? I don't think it's that shitty. I think the Lumberyard engine is probably a reasonably good choice. Amazon's like infrastructure's pretty solid, leverageable, scalable for their needs, and I think their game looks great. Just the network code was bad. How many of CIG's 500 employees are working on Squadron 42 versus the persistent universe? Good question. I don't exactly know, but effectively both work on both. So all the Squadron, well, most of the Squadron 42 stuff and most of the PE stuff makes its way into each other. Because the network team would be separate, and the persistent universe live team would be separate for the persistent universe. Maybe the cinematics team would be separate for Squadron 42, but everything else would be shared, or a lot of everything else would be shared. I totally agree. I'd rather a regularly updated roadmap rather than a fancy goal page with any communication. Communication is key. Yes, with what they're doing, the more communication, the better. Important question: will we be able to use toilets on ships? I believe so. Yes. And how will the ships handle the situation? I can't say that. Can we leave streams of piss and poo in the verse? Oh my god. I don't think we can do our business anywhere else other than a toilet. And I don't think you'll have turds floating around. But who knows? Is there any chance that we'll see a space city of sorts in Star Citizen? I mean, we'll see Cloud City on Crusader in its atmosphere. And we'll see space stations. So maybe you want like a domed city in space, do you? That's a possibility. Am I planning to play the Pirate's Life on a different account? Yes, but not much. Like I'll do some content with it because I need to be sort of like aware of all content types and how people will play. You see what I mean? But it's not something I'm planning to do super regularly. I'm not really a pirate player. I'm fine with PvP and I'm fine with people fighting, but I'm pretty lawful. This is the most important post thus far. We love you, board. Mwah. Thank you. Thanks for all the info, effort, time, and love. Blah, 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 blah. Funny tongue sound. Thank you. Oh, I did the funny tongue sound. No worries. What was the name of the huge event against the Foundry you mentioned, and how do I join it? Operation Pitchfork. It is just go on the website to search on Google for it. You'll find it. I've got a video on Operation Pitchfork, one of my early videos that I did. Will you release the Kraken? I love the idea of the Kraken Scout carrier. Hopefully, it's going to be at Squadron 42 at CitizenCon. Yeah, 3.3 is planned to go live on the 10th of October, as far as we know. Orgs necessary for fun and immersive gameplay? Question mark. No, but I would recommend them. There's going to be people that work very well solo, that maybe just use org data and stuff, and talk to other orgs for gameplay mission purposes and getting extra data, but don't need to work with them. Conversely, you could operate as part of like a solo org. So everyone in the org could be all lone wolves that just share data. Do you know what I mean? How likely is it that the persistent universe ship purchasing and rentals will make it in soon? They could make it in for 3.3. I suspect that they're going to be in 3.3.5 now because of, I think that the rental store was on Hurston. Do you think the stupid pixie lights they're putting to illuminate the universe means they're struggling with decent vehicle lights? Robert Johnson, so that's specifically for the asteroid field around Yellow or wherever the hell it is for scramble races in space, because they don't want pitch black asteroids, people to ram into them regularly. So I think they'll do key maps on the fly and stuff, or do light illumination everywhere. Like very, very low level illumination is probably what they'll go with eventually. Any other questions? Any questions? Yeah, I'm gonna go to the toilet real quickly. Chair is in charge. Good job, Chair. You always get more donations than I do. Hello. Right. What I'm going to do in a second then is I'm going to see who else is streaming, and host them, and then I'm going to go get some food, and then potentially look at making a video for today, or maybe I'll just do a quick summary of Reverse the Verse when it comes out. Reverse the Verse is going to be on the Constellation Phoenix, I think, and it will be in about just under 3 hours. So 7 PM UTC, I believe, is the live stream. Sorry. Sorry that I was singing. If anyone's got suggestions for games to play couch co-op or co-op at the private LAN I'm going to, please tell me. We're going to have a big TV. We're also going to have loads of PCs. So interesting games to play at a LAN. Message me or come to Discord and tell me, and that would be useful. I'll be streaming a lot of that as well. We'll be playing some board games and things. We'll be streaming a lot of that. If the big org could hold a non-UE system for 2 weeks, drive up profits, then move away for a while, that would be pretty cool. The other player base would have to rally together to take it back. Yeah, I'm hoping they do stuff like that. Like, I think it's a good idea. Like, you have the core UEE worlds. Some are slightly more dangerous than others, maybe, but they're like relatively safe for players. And then you have the alien-controlled ones, which are sort of like a bit odd different. And then you have the more dangerous ones where lots more PvP and potential money can be made. Risk-reward. Yes, I can see great gameplay coming out of as well. But thanks very much for joining me, guys. Thank you very much for the donations and for the subscriptions. And for the love. I am shilling for F-Total Secure at the moment. Basically, I was looking around for VPNs and like internet security stuff, and they stood out, and they were willing to sponsor me. Their VPN stuff works really fucking well with games, which is beautiful.
I couldn't
So they
choose the
feel
sound
millions.
for being
And
hosted,
that's why
so
I'm
I
chilling for them at the
decided to
moment.
use this.
What else have we got? Obviously, I love Shadow. Shadow's a great alternative to buying or upgrading your own PC, especially for... Well, I'll have to test it with 3.3, but it's been great for all other star system patches. I don't have a Phoenix, no. I'm your favourite content creator. Thanks, Neem. Appreciate it. What do you plan to do on the downtime between console travel? It's a good point. Depends what ship I'm in. But probably just talk. I suppose when I'm just in-game, I'm going to be planning what I'm buying, planning what I'm selling, checking the market, checking the news, alt-tabbing, having Reddit open at the same time, maybe watching a video at the same time. Lots of stuff. I'm an old Eve player, so same sort of things. All right. Bam, bam, bam. 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 We're looking for other people. We will go and host Saurus. Hopefully, he's not too salty. No, so they wanted you to refuel once every hour or two. That's what they said. That's the sort of like, plan for it. Ships need karaoke rooms. Oh my god, karaoke is a great idea with FOIP. Karaoke is an amazing idea, Han Solo. Any guesses on when the Squadron 42 roadmap will ever be released? Probably at CitizenCon, but I don't know. Right, we're going to go host Saurus. Give him some love. Bam. Bam. Slash Radaru. Saurusuru. Give him some love. Tell him that one day he can be a pro content creator like me. But yeah, you guys take care. Thank you very much. You guys take care. Thank you very much for joining me. It's very much appreciated. If you've got any questions, feel free to private message me, email me, come on the Discord, say hello. Get me there a lot of the time. The Discord is probably the most reliable way of getting me anytime during the day. And I will see you guys later. Kisses, smooches, and other bits and bobs as well. Do I think 3.3.5 November? Yes, I do. I think